Thank you. In focus now, former acting ICE Director Ron Vitiello. He also served as U.S. Border Patrol Chief and Deputy Commissioner. You know, first of all, welcome to the program. As we watch this, it is just sickening. I want to know your top-line thoughts on where we are with keeping America safe, especially our children.
Well, this poor girl, Jocelyn, our hearts go out to her friends and her family, all of her loved ones. She deserved better. She deserved better than a border that's in complete chaos. She deserved...
Apprehended an Afghan who illegally crossed into San Diego sector in California, and days later, news report
failed to secure the border. You have failed to work with this president to close the 3 loopholes we've asked for 2 years to close. So if you want to know why this issue exists, you need to look in the mirror.
What happens when the truth finally breaks through the lies? Jim Jordan and Tom Homan take on the radical left's narrative about the border, and the results are explosive. From record illegal crossings to fentanyl deaths, they reveal the harsh reality Democrats don't want you to see. A Listen Reacts brings you the full reaction, analysis, and truth you won't find on CNN or MSNBC. This is about protecting America, not politics. Subscribe, share, and let's keep fighting for the truth together.
Mr. Jordan.
I think the chairman, the ranking member started her statement by saying the border is secure. Really? More than 5.5, more than 5.5 million illegal aliens along the southwest border have been encountered since Joe Biden took office. 2 million of these illegal aliens have been released into American communities, and more than 1.5 million known illegal gotaways have successfully crossed the southwest border undetected. These include criminal gang members, drug dealers, and individuals on the terrorist watch list. That is not a secure border. That is not a closed border.
I never said that. I never started my statement with a secure border. Mr.
That
Chairman,
has happened
I'm
because
just
on day one.
I'm correcting the record because you stated something that was not true. Thank you, Mr.
The gentlelady should know that interrupting a member without making a valid point of order is against the rules of the committee.
Lie about what I said.
The time belongs to the chairman. Chairman's recognized.
I would just point out the gentlelady said Republicans say the border is open. She said that's not so. Is that so? What does that mean? If it's not open, is it something that's not secure, not closed? I would just saying what she referenced in her opening statement. Day one of this administration, they stopped construction of the wall, they ended Remain in Mexico, and they put back in place catch and release. Day one. That is why we have the situation we do. In that same time period I just talked about, 28 months of this administration, over 43,000 pounds of fentanyl have been seized at the southwest border, with an unknown amount making it into our communities. And there's also been an uptick in the number of individuals on the FBI terrorist watch list. Just 2 weeks ago, Border Patrol apprehended an Afghan who illegally crossed into San Diego sector in California, and days later, news reports indicate that an additional 5 watch-listed illegal aliens were apprehended in Tucson, Arizona, after attempting to avoid detection. Our witnesses today understand the consequences of our borders being unprotected all too well, all of them, and I want to thank them for being here today. I want to particularly thank Ms. Nobles for bravely agreeing to appear here today to talk about the unthinkable tragedy that affected her family. Her daughter, Kaylee, was 20 years old when she was assaulted and murdered. The person charged with the crime was an MS-13 gang member who was allowed to enter the United States after crossing the border illegally as a so-called unaccompanied alien child. Despite the USC having a criminal history in El Salvador for MS-13 gang affiliation well before he even entered the United States, law enforcement only became aware of this fact after Kaylee's murder. Why not until after Kaylee's murder? Because prior to the murder, no one in this administration bothered to check into the UAC's criminal history in his home country. And the Hamilton family was not alone this year in experiencing such a horrific event. In January, suspected cartel members massacred 6 people, including a 10-month-old infant, assassination style in Goshen, California. In April of this year, a nationwide manhunt ensued after a man who had been deported on 4 separate occasions killed 5 people, including a 9-year-old boy. It's well past time that we enforce the law, secure our border, and we should pass, the Senate should pass, the bill that we passed in the House just a few weeks ago so we can get our border under control and secure. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Chair now recognizes the ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee, Mr. Nadler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I first wish to express a quick question, and I want to make one quick statement. I find it very offensive that anybody would compare any federal employee, frankly, to someone who, the Gestapo or running Nazi concentration camps. That is very offensive. I have 15 seconds and I yield it to you.
Thank you for saying that. I wish somebody in Democratic leadership would say that out loud. Look, you want to know why there's 50,000 people in detention? You want to know why we have 1 million illegal entries in the United States? You want to know why we have these issues? Because you have failed to secure the border. You have failed to work with this president to close the 3 loopholes we've asked for 2 years to close. So if you want to know why this issue exists, you need to look in the mirror. You have failed American people for not securing the border and closing loopholes.
Mr. Homan,
Look,
please respect the chair and the authority of the chair. The time of the gentleman has expired.
I've asked you politely to let me go beyond my time, and you let other people go beyond their time, but not to Tom Homan. He don't get me go beyond his time.
Mr. Homan, we have approved an agreement between the Republicans and the Democrats with the ranking member. We increased the time of one member of Congress who was interrupted by a protest. That is done with the approval of the ranking member. Please respect the chair's authority.
I respect the chair's authority, but the chair...
Mr. Homan!
You work for me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
The witness will suspend.
Welcome back to A Listen Reacts. If you're tired of the lies, the double standards, and the constant attacks on American sovereignty, then you're in the right place.
Really?
Before we dive into this explosive hearing, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with someone who's fed up with Washington pretending our border crisis doesn't exist. Because today, we're going to break down one of the most heated exchanges you'll ever see. Jim Jordan and former IC Director Tom Homan absolutely destroy Representative Pramila Jayapal over border security. Let's start with the facts.
That is not a secure border.
This wasn't some polite debate.
That is not a closed border.
I never said that. I never started my statement.
Jayapal tried to paint IC and border control as villains, suggesting they're somehow the bad guys for enforcing the law. But Tom Homan wasn't having it. The man's been on the front lines for decades. He's seen children trafficked, women abused, drugs pouring across the border, and he's watched politicians like Jayapal sit in air-conditioned offices while accusing the people who actually protect us of being terrorists. Jim Jordan, to his credit, did what most of Congress refuses to do. He held her accountable. He reminded her that the border crisis didn't happen overnight. It exploded under this administration's open border agenda. Record numbers of illegal crossings, fentanyl flooding American towns, and sanctuary policies that let criminals walk free. All defended by people like Jayapal who claim to care about humanity but ignore the Americans dying because of it. And when Tom Homan fired back, it was powerful. He looked Jayapal in the eye and said what every patriotic American has been thinking. Enforcing immigration law isn't terrorism. It's duty. The real terror is what's happening to our communities because of weak leadership and political theater. This hearing exposed everything wrong with Washington's priorities. They'll spend hours lecturing IC about compassion, but won't spend 5 minutes listening to border agents who are overworked, undermanned, and demoralized. They'll cry about human rights, but not about the American families mourning loved ones lost to fentanyl smuggled through an unsecured border. You could see the frustration in Jim Jordan's voice, the conviction in Tom Homan's tone, and the silence from Jayapal said it all. When confronted with facts, her arguments collapsed. She had no real answer, no accountability, just the same recycled talking points about compassion and equity. But compassion means nothing without security. A nation without borders is not a nation at all. And let me be clear, this isn't about hating immigrants. It's about respecting law. It's about protecting the men and women who risk their lives daily to keep Americans safe. It's about stopping the chaos at the southern border that's now spilling into every major city in this country. Jim Jordan and Tom Homan didn't just win a debate. They exposed the truth. The radical left doesn't want border security. They want control. They want votes. They want chaos they can exploit politically. And they'll vilify anyone who stands in the way of their open border fantasy. So what do? We speak up. We demand accountability. We support leaders who put America first. We
It's
back
well
law
past time that we
enforcement, we
enforce the
secure
law,
our border,
secure our
and we
border,
remind
and we
people
should
like
pass,
Jayapal
the
that their
Senate should
job
pass
is to
the
defend
bill
the
that we
American
passed in the
people,
House
not
just
criminals
a few weeks
crossing
ago,
illegally.
so we can get
If you
our
agree
border
that enough
under
is
control
enough,
and secure.
hit that
With that,
subscribe
Mr.
button
Chairman, I
right
yield
now and share this video everywhere.
recognizes
Because
the
the mainstream
ranking member,
media
Mr.
won't
Chairman.
show you what really happened in that hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I first wish to express